The Assad regime continues its policy of kneel or starve. We know that the Assad regime had besieged the Ghouta area, not allowing any food to enter into that area for the past over 8 or 9 months at this point. One of the areas that have been hit very hard is Mu'addamiyya. As you recall, Mu'addamiyya is a city that was also targeted by chemical weapons in the chemical weapon attack of August 21st. What happened yesterday is that the Assad regime, and after besieging Mu'addamiyya for so many months, told activists in that area that they will allow for food to enter, small amounts of food to enter, if those activists raise the Assad regime flag on one of the tall buildings in the city. The activists, due to the fact that they've had many deaths due to starvation, over 10 women and children died in the last few weeks out of starvation. The activists agreed to raise the Assad's flag. They did that. However, they are still waiting for the food that the Assad regime had promised. One of the activists told us that we raise the flag and we'll give it 24 hours, and if the Assad regime does not cooperate, we will bring down the flag and we'll burn it in front of the rest of the world. This is a cry for help from people in Mu'addamiyya. We are living in the 21st century, and there are people dying of hunger. There are men, women, children, elderly dying of hunger. This policy of kneel or starve, the policy that the Assad himself spoke about in a televised TV interview back in early August, where he said, we will hit the social classes that are supporting the revolution, and this is exactly what he is doing. This is the kind of terrorist that we are dealing with. This is the terrorist who is supported by the Russians and by the Iranians, a terrorist who kills Syrians and does not have an issue of eliminating or killing most of the Syrian people to remain in power. Also, we have the death. We have the death and actually the burial of Dr. Abbas Khan of England. Dr. Khan, we strongly send our sincere condolences to the family of Dr. Khan. He has shown a level of bravery and sincerity that is difficult to find in this world. In a time where Syrians feel very abandoned, Dr. Khan left a very comfortable life, went to Syria, try and help and serve Syrians who are wounded by the Assad regime. The Assad regime had promised Dr. Khan's family that they will release him, and instead of releasing him, they resort to killing him. Reports tell us that Butayna Sha'ban, the advisor to Mr. Assad, told Mr. Khan's sister that we've killed him and go and complain to the British government. Well, we promise Dr. Khan's family that we will bring those who are responsible for killing him to justice, even if it takes us a while. We promise not to forget that debt. Finally, it's very important also to comment about what's taken place in terms of the deal that's being signed between the Assad regime and the Russian government in terms of oil exploration. It is very obvious to everyone that the Russian government, similar to the Iranian government, are the ones who are responsible for keeping the Assad regime in power. They are supplying him with the lifeline of money and arms to remain in power. They are supporting international terrorism, those two countries. They are supporting an international terrorist, they're supporting a terrorist regime that is killing its people. They are as responsible for the deaths of Syrians as the Assad regime, and this is something that Syrians will not forget.